So in the lead up to the federal budget, it's an opportune time for us to sit down and have a chat about the IPA's position on the federal budget issues and also talk about the approach taken to the federal budget. We know that it's going to be a very interesting budget, the first Abbott budget, and it will be a very interesting affair. So I'm joined by Tony Greco, who is our General Manager of Technical Policy. Tony, the federal budget not too far away. How do you envisage the federal budget itself playing out? I mean, the new government, there's a lot of things people are expecting of this budget.
Yeah, no, it's a fair call. They've inherited quite a bit of debt, and there's a lot of fiscal constraints on what they can do. So we have to be understanding of the environment. So being fiscally responsible, that's what we've also tried to do with our wish lists going forward.
Because as we know, with the lead up to the federal budget, a lot of stakeholders line up and they put their hand out, or in some cases make detailed submissions to the government as part of the pre-budget submission process. The IPA is no stranger to that process. We've consistently made pre-budget submissions based on what members are telling us they're seeking and their clients are seeking. So in terms of the process, do we expect it will be we're not expecting major tax cuts, we're not expecting big ticket items, so it's going to be a very interesting budget as this first government's budget.
Absolutely. I mean, the current government has commissioned a commission of audit, so they're going to eliminate a lot of waste and inefficiency. So we're going to see a lot of cutbacks. As far as tax cuts, probably off the table. There could be some surprises, there could be some increases or concessions being taken away. That's more likely the scenario rather than tax cuts.
And so we know the process is groups like the IPA make their submissions to the government, they're submitted through to Treasury, they then go to the Expenditure Review Committee of Cabinet, and they then make their recommendations to Cabinet to form the budget. So we'll find out the precise detail of the budget on budget night. But some of the things that we've been advocating for some time really stem from systemic taxation reform and the real need for a concrete roadmap for the future. So some of those areas, Tony, you're heavily involved in as well on behalf of the Institute, but the tax reform elements, what are some of the things we've been advocating for?
Well, tax reform itself is quite a big exercise, and I think the current government's pretty much said that they're going to leave the big ticket stuff to what they call a white paper. So we're looking forward in the first term of the Abbott government that they'll adhere to their promise, and we get an opportunity to go back in there and look at the tax system in its entirety, because realistically we know there's structural deficits and they're not going to go away, so we need big picture things to change going forward. But having said that, there's a lot of micro things that can be done and need to be done, and because of our small business focus, we're very much attuned to that sector and putting forward. There's a lot of things like in Division 7A, trusts, PSI rules. We've been in the paper lately regarding employee share schemes. The list goes on and on. There's quite a number of initiatives that need addressing, and superannuation is another focus area. The attraction, or one of the deficiencies in the current system, is the lump sum payment aspect of the superannuation system. People can take the lump sum and do as they please, and we would rather there are some restrictions or soft compulsion to make sure that they are attracted to income streams or annuities, and basically use the money wisely, and that's good for the government. At the end of the day, superannuation is treated very concessionally. It costs the government a lot of money, and therefore we should promote money being left in that system and less of a drain on the government via age pensions, etc.
And so one of the other big ticket items, as Tony touched on, was the notion of a small business concessional rate of tax. And so that's been one of the key items of our pre-budget submission over a number of years, and we have been making inroads with government and making sure that wherever we can, we're trying to strip out some of those compliance burdens from small business as well, but importantly, a tax cut to small business to enable it to do what it does best, and that is to grow its business and hopefully employ more Australians. So the pre-budget submission process is well and truly underway. Our submission is in with the government, and for more details on our pre-budget submission and the detail of the IPA positions, please log on to our website at publicaccountants.org.au and follow our links to the pre-budget submission process. We'll also be having a very detailed coverage of the federal budget, both the preview and the analysis of the budget itself, so do make sure you're logging on to the IPA website as the pre-budget process unfolds. We find out what other stakeholders are saying, and importantly also what the government position actually is. So Tony, thanks for that insight.
Pleasure,
and for our members, make sure you log on to our website, look at the digital hub at pubact.org.au, and stay tuned for more information.